It's time now to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Vicki, good morning.
Hi, George. Good morning to you.
Hey, Vicki.
What?
Anything happened since the last time we talked last week? Anything new in your life? Anything
George,
you did since
anything new in
in
my life since the last time? Well, listen, I must say very proudly, which I think many of the listeners and viewers of this show already know, because I think I've been pretty vocal about it. I am now a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Iota Nu Omega chapter of Syracuse, New York, along with 9 amazing women, 8 additional amazing women here in Syracuse. We had our induction and I guess you would call our coronation or introduction to the community last week. And I thank you for your congratulatory messages. And I thank everybody for all the things that they have done. Okay. Do I get to do shout outs, George?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, fine. To my sister, who was my sponsor and now my soror and sister.
How about that?
Hilbo,
yes.
Okay. And to my co-sponsors.
I think I was yelling. I was screaming when you said her name. So say her name.
Okay, again. Tammy Gilbo.
Yes.
Okay, who was my sponsor. To my co-sponsors, soror Gloria Kilpatrick.
Yes.
And soror Selena Lazarus. I must say absolutely thank you. To the soror who led what was called the membership intake process, the person who put all of the things together and made sure all of this moved very smoothly, soror Muriet Pollard. Okay, I also have to say thank you. And of course, to our basilisk here in Syracuse, Evelyn Ingram, and all of the sorors of Iota Nu Omega chapter here in Syracuse. I must absolutely say thank you, because the process was incredible, and I feel very, very fortunate to be part of this organization.
Well, I just have one other special announcement to make.
You want me to make it?
Yeah,
make it.
I do. I mean, one of your incredible line sisters happens to be, go ahead, Vicki.
Happens to be one of the Kilpatrick women, okay, Miss Amina Kilpatrick. And you know what, okay, George, this was an amazing thing also, the fact that I got to be inducted into the organization with your daughter. But I may as well go, since I'm here. I'm going to go ahead and give everybody's name, because the entire line was incredible.
Well, let me say her name, since I need to say it. My baby girl Amina was so proud of you. Now, Vicki, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So I'm going to read this list off. Miss Nikita Jankowski. Okay. Miss Melanie Johnson. Soror Iris St. Moran. Miss Amina Kilpatrick again, of course. Miss Nyla Davis Robinson. Miss Saya Mays. Dr. Tanisha Jackson. And finally, Miss Octavia Hills Leaks. All of these are now, okay, I want to congratulate them, thank them again for all of their, the sisterhood that we have now built, as far as the 9 sorors that were inducted into the Iota Nu Omega chapter here in Syracuse.
Iota Nu Omega chapter.
All right, George.
Get it right, Vicki. We don't want to have the
Iota Nu Omega, because I don't have them calling me.
They'll be all, oh my God, Vicki.
Iota Nu Omega chapter.
There you go.
Alpha Kappa
I'm
Alpha
I'm
Sorority
looking out for you,
Incorporated.
sister. I know, you know how I
Okay.
be.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. And you know what, George? Uh, Somebody asked me why, and I said, to everything there is a season and a time and purpose under the sun. This was the time for me, even though it is an unusual time as far as the ticks on the clock. This was the time that was appointed for me to become a member of this organization. And I'm glad that that happened. And it reminded me, in fact, as I was sitting there one evening, okay, just thinking about some of the choices that I was reflecting on over my life and my career. I thought about, you remember that movie, Black Panther?
Yes. Do I remember it?
Yeah, I'm
You
just
mean like the
teasing you,
one of
George.
the
But do you remember a scene there
Go ahead.
where within the cliffs, you had tribes of women who were preparing for the spiritual renewal for the Black Panther? And I thought about that whole scene of the warrior women and the scholarly women and all that were there. And I said, you know what? This reminded me in some ways of what is taking place also with the renewal and continued rebirth of the Divine Nine. And really, there's a spiritual awakening that's taking place across the country. And I'm glad that I'm a little bit of a part of that. So anyway, George, we'll talk more about that in the future, I'm sure. But on the other side of what's happened this week, we had the NAACP's annual Freedom Fund dinner.
Yes.
Okay. And we had an amazing guest speaker, okay, for the evening, Mr. Benjamin Crump, who reminded us of all, unfortunately, he shortly after his keynote, we had another mass shooting.
Yeah.
But asked us all, as did the MC for the evening, asked us all to reflect on what we can do concerning the violence and the gun violence that's happening across the country. In particular there in Uvalde, in Tulsa, in Buffalo, and then following that in Tulsa. And so, I know this is an economic show. Somebody asked me, how are you going to relate that to economics? And I want to go back to our formula. And our formula was, in order to build wealth, we needed human capital plus financial assets. The destruction that we're going through in this country against human capital is unconscionable. We must do better. And we all have to join together to make that happen. But then, today, in fact, it's not today, on Friday, we had an amazing event. I think most people have probably seen in the news, and probably are very overjoyed to see that the Salina First project has broken ground. I mean, bulldozers out there. I got my shoes all muddy and dirty because they're digging up dirt and putting up fences.
Yeah.
Okay.
Significance of this, obviously, is I know they say minority owned, but okay, we'll use that language, right? Where the majority of the ownership is in the hands of folks of color. And, that's Emo Henderson and Eli Smith, along with Gail out of Washington, D.C. And this is really exciting for the South Side.
It really is very exciting for the South Side. As you said, this is the first time a project of that nature has taken place. But I don't think it's, and when the deputy mayor, Sharon Owens, was speaking, one of the things that she reminded everyone of is that this was actually this is an example of a generational wealth play for the community, because Emo's father, started his business there on the South Side and passed it on to him.
Yes.
As did Eli's father. Okay. So they both are now second generation legacy businesses that are moving forward and building that third generation of wealth because of the fact that they're creating an institution there as far as the new light manufacturing and mixed use commercial space that they are building there on South Salina Street. It was a great day. It was a really, really great day for that to happen. I said Friday, was actually on Thursday.
On Thursday, yeah.
On Thursday, okay, exactly. Okay. So what do we want to look for going forward, George? I've been talking about the issues around life insurance, and I think we've covered just about everything as far as that's concerned. So our next thing that we really should look at is probably something that you have been reading about on the news, and that is quantitative tightening.
Quantitative tightening.
Tightening. Okay. All right. So I see how you parsed your lips there. You said, "What's Vicki going to talk about now?" Okay.
I'm trying to think about. Go. You go ahead, because I was thinking about. Well, you already gave the tease. I was like, now what could that possibly be? But you sort of already hinted at it. So go ahead.
Okay. So, everybody is talking about. I mean, I saw $6 on the pump the other day. For the first time in my life, I actually could have put in $100 worth of gas in my car.
Right.
Okay.
Are you using high test?
No, I only filled up halfway and it was $50.
Okay.
So I figured if it was on empty,
well, you do
that's 2 times 50.
I love it.
Okay, because I don't let that run down to empty anymore because my heart won't take it. Okay.
Right. You're right, though. I've got to go fill up today, and it's gonna be because you have an SUV. I mean, the kind of car you. I don't want to give the kind of car you have, but with the kind of car you have, it's a big tank.
Yes. Okay, so but in his speech, meaning the chairman, when he was talking about raising interest rates, he also made comment concerning the fact that they were going to move into quantitative tightening, so that they could remove basically money and cash from the system, so that we can get more imbalance and equilibrium between supply and demand. So this is take a little bit, but hopefully we can get through this. Janet Yellen and Ben Bernanke, remember those Fed chairmen? Okay.
Sure.
When we came through the financial crisis, in order to get more liquidity in the system, we went through the opposite, which was called quantitative easing. They started actually pumping money into the system by buying bonds. And when they bought bonds, they put more cash into the system. All right. Okay. And that quantitative easing was the method of repairing the economy when we came through the financial crisis. Now we have a lot of liquidity in the system, and that's one of the reasons interest rates are as low as they are, and they have stayed low for a very, very long period of time until we started getting into this inflationary period. When you have lower interest rates, you have more cash in the system. That cash in the system chases commodities, and commodity prices, houses, gas, food, water, start to go up. So to reverse that, you pull money out of the system and you tighten the money flow. And so they're going to go through a process called quantitative tightening. I'm speaking of that now primarily so when you hear it, you'll understand that it was planned. It's not something that fell out of the sky. It's a planned move. It's one of the tools that the Federal Reserve has in order to bring the economy or bring interest rates back into equilibrium, so that we no longer have and can very gradually, the hope is very gradually bring the economy back into that 2 to 3% range concerning inflation. It will take a while because they don't do it overnight, because if they did it too fast and brought too much money out of the system too quickly, it's like your car. Okay. Right. You'll cause the car to choke out, to seize. You'll cause the economy. And that's when and that's why there is some concern, a little concern about how rapidly this happens, because it could tip us into recession, which is not what we want. So, George, the word this week is quantitative tightening.
Quantitative tightening.
Tightening. Okay. That's a big one to say. Okay. But you're going to hear it enough that after a while, it'll just roll off your tongue, I'm sure. But okay, so I think I'll stop here tonight, because we've talked about a lot of things, particularly around economic changes, about things that are happening in the economy locally, about the Federal Reserve. If you have additional questions, feel free to give me a call at area code 315-930-4499. Again, that's 315-930-4499. Of course, you can follow us on Facebook. You can, please go to YouTube, like, subscribe, and share. And at this point, George, I will say our plate is full.
All right, Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. She is America's money maven.